I saw yesterday, Mo, we're always talking about spending money and cutting the budget, and the military especially, that we had sent 16 cargo planes, new ones, to Afghanistan in 2013, about Marches, sometime early spring, and that they have scrapped them now, 486 million, we'll say $500 million, 500 million, and they scrapped them for $32,000.
6 cents a pound.
6 cents a pound. Why would you scrap?
I know.
The outside may be bad, but all that interlocking stuff was good.
This just came to my attention. When we get back to Washington, I'm sure that the House Armed Services Committee will have inquiries about that. But again, ultimately, these are all just, people don't really understand that well, what Congress does and what the President does, okay? He is our CEO. What Congress does is make overall policy decisions, often embodied in the form of statutory law, and then money decisions where we appropriate money to the executive branch. And then the executive branch, as we're finding out all too well, they have tremendous discretion on how to operate. And Congress doesn't have control over whether you're going to scrap an airplane or continue to operate it. That is a decision that you hope your CEO or his subordinates will make based on good, sound economic reasons.
But the other thing that hurt was they were made over in Italy. They were Italy-made planes that we paid for, and we got all the facilities over here to do that. I didn't believe it.
It's crazy what our federal government does. Crazy.
I'm sure there had to be some of this, Mo, let's face it. There's that much crap to go on?
I don't have the answer.
Spreading the wealth.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of crazy things the government does, sir, and to piggyback on our earlier discussion and some of what you said about voting in Congress, the House and the Senate recently voted to send money to the Al-Qaeda rebels in Syria. Now, this is something the president has been doing for some time. He sent over $1 billion to Libyan and Syrian rebels that I know as a former United States Air Force officer, those are Al-Qaeda. I was a foreign disclosure officer in Iraq for 16 months. Basically, I oversaw all the information sharing in that country with our coalition partners. And I know the rebels in Syria are Al-Qaeda. And I think we can all agree Al-Qaeda is an enemy of the United States. Well, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment basically states that anyone who took the oath of office and then provides aid or comfort to an enemy cannot hold any office. And now you've got the president, or the person in the office of the president, I should say, and the majority of Congress, excepting yourself, sir, because I know you voted against it, voting to send money to our enemies. Now, if you go literally by what the Constitution says, these people cannot hold office. What do you propose be done about this?
Well, Congress has made the decision that those people that the money is going to go to are not enemies.
But they
took your Al-Qaeda head off, didn't they?
Well, here's the way I'm going to defend what the other side has said, okay, those people who voted for it. And this is what the statute says, that these are, I'm going to boil it down and summarize it, that the people that the United States government is going to find, train, and arm are going to be properly vetted moderate Muslims. And that will be the United States surrogate army in Syria. Now, I'm one of those who has a healthy degree of skepticism, and I'm not sure that you can find 5,000 moderate Muslims in the country of Syria, as we would understand the word moderate, okay? And so I voted against it on that basis. But whoever this 5,000 is, by definition, they're not our enemy because Congress has defined them not to be our enemy.
That's awful.
Well, keep in mind, I'm giving their argument.
Understand, sir. Understand.
And I disagree. I'll give you an example. The President and Hillary Clinton wanted to arm these so-called properly vetted moderate Muslims as long ago as 2 years ago. And last year, the President was seeking. Well, initially he was going to bomb Syria without any congressional vote. And then he decided that he would get a congressional vote, and the Congress said, no, but hell no. Now, we didn't have that vote, but the objections were so great, and the American people were speaking so loudly that the president backed off. But he was going to bomb. Now the purpose then was not to bomb the Islamic State. The purpose then was to take out Assad. which in effect would have been to empower the Islamic State, because the Islamic State was also trying to take out Assad. And so, that's where we were last year. And now you're thinking that you're going to be able to find 5,000 properly vetted moderate Muslims who would act as a surrogate army of the United States of America, and they're going to be able to kill 30,000 well-armed, well-trained, dedicated to death Islamic State fighters, and who have their ranks growing on a daily basis. And those 5,000, once they get through killing that 30,000, that they're going to be able to take out the Assad regime, which is the long-term goal of the President of the United States. I think it's foolhardy. I don't think there's much chance of success. And certainly the bombing campaign, as small as it is right now, has not been shown to be able to stop the advances of the Islamic State. It's more, from a presidential level, it's more of a show, political show, than it is a substantive effort to stop the Islamic State. When we actually went to fight in Afghanistan and Iraq, the 2 times we were there, we weren't relying on 5 or 10 bombs a day, okay? We're relying on hundreds, maybe even thousands of sorties some days to thoroughly decimate our opposition. And what the president is doing is for show. And that's unfortunate, because the American people aren't picking up on it. But I'm one of those that believes that if you're going to get engaged, you get engaged with everything you have that's necessary to win. And if you're not willing to do what's necessary to win, you do not engage. And this president, it's very frustrating to see what he's doing to our country and our reputation abroad by these half measures that have no chance of success. And in my judgment, what he's doing, if he sticks to what he says, and we know he doesn't tell the truth on occasion, okay? We know that because remember Obamacare? If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. They knew that was a lie the moment they uttered it. If you like your health insurance, you'll be able to keep your health insurance. Well, they knew that wasn't the truth either, because the whole purpose of the plan is to make you get off the insurance you have. So they had to put in there barriers that prevent you from retaining your insurance. Or more recently, the revelations that have come out with Benghazi, well, we didn't know it was a terrorist attack, but you've got Leon Panetta telling the President of the United States while it's ongoing that no, it wasn't a terrorist attack, it was an attack by terrorists. Now, you get the semantics there. And the way in which they twist words, you've got to be very careful. Did he tell you it was a terrorist attack? No. He said it was an attack by terrorists. Well, you didn't ask me about that part. You just asked me. You said, that's really the way they're splitting hairs right now. And that's why, the American people are so confused. But I don't trust this president, and I don't trust him because he has said so many things that we now know to be false, and we now know that he knew were not true when he uttered them. It's one thing to say something and it be in error. You could be mistaken. It's another thing to deliberately misrepresent facts for political advantage or some other purpose, and this president deliberately misrepresents facts to the American people in the world. And we can't have that.